Have you ever faced someone who thought they could control your every move? That's where my story begins. In a quiet suburban neighborhood where the HOA president, Karen, ruled like a petty dictator. Her name wasn't just a name, it was a warning. She'd patrol the streets in her golf cart, clipboard in hand, citing people for unapproved mailbox colors or lawns half an inch too long. When I moved in, I thought I'd found my dream home. A cozy two-story with a garden I planned to fill with wildflowers. But Karen had other ideas. From day one, she was on my case. My welcome gift? A 10-page list of HOA rules, each one more absurd than the last.
No wildflowerstå untidi. No viruses potential nois nuisance.
She even demanded I repaint my front door because coral clashed with the neighborhood aesthetic. I tried reasoning with her, suggesting compromises, but Karen's response was always the same. Rules are rules, Ethan. Follow them or face fines. Her smug grin as she handed me a $200 fine for my non-compliant mailbox felt like a slap. I wasn't alone. Neighbors whispered about her reign of terror, but no one dared challenge her. She thrived on control and we were all her pawns. The tension grew with every passing week. Karen's citations piled up. $50 for a basketball hoop, $100 for a rogue garden gnome. My patience wore thin, but the breaking point came when she targeted Mrs. Larson, an elderly widow across the street. Karen fined her $500 for leaving her Christmas lights up past January 15th, claiming they disrupted the neighborhood's uniformity. Mrs. Larson, living on a fixed income, was in tears. That's when I met Jake, a quiet neighbor who'd been watching Karen's antics from afar. He was a real estate agent with a sly grin and a knack for thinking outside the box. Over coffee, he dropped a bombshell. What if you didn't just fight her? What if you owned her? Jake's idea was insane, but it lit a fire in me. The neighborhood's developer was quietly selling off the remaining lots, and many homeowners were fed up enough to consider moving. With my savings and a loan, I could buy enough properties to gain a majority stake in the HOA. It was a long shot, but the thought of turning Karen's rules against her was too tempting. I spent weeks negotiating deals, meeting homeowners in secret. Some hesitated, fearing Karen's wrath, but Mrs. Larson was the first to sign, her eyes gleaming with defiance. "Give her hell," she whispered. The plan came together faster than I expected. By month's end, I'd bought 60% of the neighborhood, enough to control the HOA board. Karen had no idea what was coming. At the next meeting, she strutted in, ready to issue more fines, only to find me at the head of the table, flanked by Jake and Mrs. Larson. I presented the paperwork. I was now the majority owner and the new HOA president. Her face turned the color of my non-compliant coral door. She screamed about bylaws, but the lawyer I'd hired, Jake's cousin, another surprise ally, shut her down. The rules were clear. Ownership trumped her reign. Karen's empire crumbled in minutes. I dissolved the draconian rules, replacing them with common-sense guidelines. Wildflowers? Allowed. Birdhouses? Encouraged. Karen tried to rally her loyalists, but most neighbors were done with her. She stormed out, vowing revenge, but the neighborhood was already changing. Mrs. Larson hung her Christmas lights year-round, and my garden bloomed with chaotic beauty. Karen moved away a month later, unable to handle her loss of power. Rumor has it she's terrorizing another HOA, but here we're free. Looking back, it wasn't just about beating Karen, it was about reclaiming our homes, our choices, our lives. The neighborhood's happier now, with block parties and kids playing freely. But I wonder, was I too harsh, or was this justice? What do you think when someone tries to control your life? How far would you go to take it back?